the tension was palpable at the Veterans Day service in Arlington, Virginia, where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris appeared together for the first time since the Democrats' brutal defeat by Donald Trump.
Now, it is Veterans Day here in the United States today. It's a big day on the American calendar, a grand occasion when it comes to commemorating American soldiers past and present. One of the main events is in Arlington, Virginia, not too far from here. It was also significant today because it's the first time that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been seen together since the election. Joe Biden spoke a little earlier, and he mentioned that this year was even more special for him because it was the last time that he would appear at Arlington.
This is the last time I will stand here at Arlington as Commander-in-Chief. It's been the greatest honor of my life to lead you, to serve you, to care for you, to defend you, just as you defended us, generation after generation after generation.
But whilst the occasion was somber, many eagle-eyed commentators could feel the heavy tension between the two in the air. And it wasn't just Joe Biden and Kamala Harris who were tense. Jill Biden was seemingly unimpressed with the VP.
Distinguished guests, Major General Trevor J. Brandenkamp, Commanding General.
Commentators on X were shocked at Jill Biden's brutal snub, saying, "The tension is off the charts here." This commentator agreed, saying tension. Kamala Harris and Jill Biden look extremely uncomfortable sitting next to each other during Veterans Day memorial service today. Now, why on earth could that be? The tension comes after months of built-up resentment between Biden and Harris during the election campaign, topped off by footage of a very happy Joe Biden once the result was called.
The day beaming, the biggest smile we've ever seen. He had a big spring in his step, didn't he? He's gone from potato to spring in his step, and it's, he's not going to leave, is he?
And commentator Megyn Kelly agreed, confirming that Jill Biden was elated after the Democrat loss.
Well, you saw her in her full red suit yesterday when she went out to vote. That seemed a little coincidental. And I'm sure she was rooting against Kamala Harris. They feel like she betrayed him, and she did, let's face it. And look, she betrayed the American people. She kept the secret of his mental acuity, how it was gone, just as fervently as anybody.
And in another shock twist that is sure to make the rift worse, Kamala's team are calling for Joe Biden to turn the presidency over to Kamala Harris for the remainder of his term.
Now, this is hilarious because last week the US, well, you'd think that they'd actually sent a clear signal that they don't want Kamala Harris to be president, and yet some Dems are just not taking no for an answer.
One promise left that he could fulfill, being a transitional figure. He could resign the presidency in the next 30 days. Make Kamala Harris the president of the United States. Whoa. It would absolve her from being able to from having to oversee the January 6th transition, right, of her own defeat, and it would make sure that it would dominate the news at a point where Democrats have to learn drama and transparency and doing things that the public want to see. Is the time. This is the moment for us to change the entire perspective of how Democrats operate.
Yes, let's punt Joe Biden, put Kamala in for a couple of days. Never mind that the overwhelming majority of Americans actually said, no, we don't want you. But please, Graham, why are they just not taking no for an answer here? They're in such denial.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? What's needed is humility. And looking how chuffed Joe Biden looks following the result, I don't think he's going to be giving up for anybody. Seriously, it would devalue the event of the US getting the first female president if they were to sneak it in this fashion. The reality is they're all yesterday's people. The caravan has moved on. Nothing will happen between now and when Trump is inaugurated, and that's when it begins.